Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a 21-part video series showing you how to create DM house. Let's get started. So to start, let's open a new architecture template. So click on new, go to drop down, select architecture template, and then press OK. So once it's ready, it will start at level 1, and what we need to do is to type in UN to see what's our length or our units. So we're gonna use millimeters and then press close, and before we start, let's click on save. So here, this is where I want to save the file, so I'm just gonna put house right here and click on option. If you're a beginner, around 10 to 20 backups is good enough. If you're intermediate, you can put 5, or if you're an expert, you can just put 1. So for me, I'm just going to put 5 so that I could have backups of what I'm doing right now. So 5, and then press OK and click on save. So now that is ready, what we need to do is we could go right here under level 1, which is what we are at now, and we could go to architecture and then select grid. So you could also type in GR, and then you'll be able to add grid lines. I'm gonna start at below going above, or down going up, and I want to center it around the elevation tags right here. So I'm going to click on below going up, and it will start at number 1 grid line. So press escape and then escape again. And what I'm gonna do now is select that grid line and then type in CO, or under modify you can also select this one. So CO is copy, so CO, and then select that, basically grabbing it and putting it on the right side. And then before you click on anything, you can click on multiple so that we could add in multiple lines without selecting the grid line again. So here I'm going to put it on the right side, and Revit will basically understand that I want it to go from the left to the right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in 1878, enter, and then after that 4157, enter, 1833, enter, and then one more is 1967, enter. Then press escape and then escape again. What we can do is we can grab all of this and just move this onto the right side so that everything is still centered around all of our grid, or all of our elevation tags. After that, I'm gonna type in GR again, that's grid line, and I'm going to select from right to left. So I'm gonna click right here, going to the left side, and then press escape and then escape again. Now Revit, notice that from 5 to 6, but I want to change this to a letter because this is our horizontal grid line. So I'm gonna select the grid bubble and then type in capital A and then select on the space. After that, you can type in CEO And as you notice, multiple is already ticked, so we don't need to select that again or click that again. So now I want it to go from above and going down. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it all the way to the bottom and make sure that 90 degrees is showing. And then we're going to add in 8,000. And then after that, 1405. And then 2850. After that, 1737. And then 1325. 1180. And then here, the next is 2705. 1180 again. And then 675. And then lastly 3810. So those are our grid lines, and what we can do is to add dimensions on that. So you can click on here or type in DI, and what we're going to do is select each and every grid line, and as you can see, you can follow along and then add an overall after that. Let's do it on our horizontal as well. And then create an overall. That's why I gave it a lot of room right here so that we could follow along right there. And we can add dimensions as well. And what I want to do now is, so I'm going to fix it a little bit. So as you can see, when we grab it, it's showing this dash line. Those are just temporarily dash line, indicating that once you select one, it will move as well on the others. So everything is connected properly. And we could just move this out inwards like that. And also on this side, we can move this one just enough so that everything is properly tacked in. Also, I want to add those grid bubbles on this side as well. So what we need to do is click on those grid lines individually and click on show bubble. And as you can see, you'll be able to add all those bubbles like that. And unfortunately, it's one at a time. It's not something that you could do all at once. So now what we're trying to do is just adding all those grid bubbles to the other side. And if you notice, we have some bubbles that are overlapping. So what we could do is we could add in an elbow. So to add an elbow, you just need to select the grid line, and then you will see this zigzag right there. That's stating that you can add an elbow, and you could just move this so that everything is being shown properly and it's not overlapping. So here I'm going to move this again. Usually I like it to be the same one, so it will create that dash line again, indicating where is it on the other side. So that's very neat. So here I'm going to put it on this side. I'm going to give it some room because I need to add an elbow on the I grid line. So here I'm gonna click that and then fix it. So it's snapped in place if ever it's noticed that you want it to be on that same line or align it. So there we go. So now we have all of those grid bubbles and grids. We also added the dimension. And now what we could do is we could add in our levels. So what I usually do is I go to my south elevation, and just notice that everything, all of my elevation tags are within the vicinity of the grid lines. So now let's go to south elevation, and as you can see, we have level 1, level 2, and this grid lines right here that are vertical grid lines. So now you want to make sure when you have a level that all of these grid bubbles are showing that is overlapping this level, or else if I show you level 2, everything looks normal, everything is showing. But if, for example, we put it right there, you can see that the vertical elevation is missing. So the only thing that it will show if it's overlapping on those sides. So now what we could do is we could add in another level. So we could go to architecture and click level. So there's multiple ways to add this. I usually add or click the level if I'm just adding 1 or 2 levels. But if you're adding multiples, so for example, the difference I'm going to show you is, for example, if you're going to add multiple levels, select level 2, CO, and then you could just push it right there on the top. For example, 3000. So it will create level 3. But if you notice on the floor plan, there's no level 3. That's because you will need to go to view, click on plan view, and click on floor plan, and then as you can see, you will need to select that level and then press OK. Now it will create that level right there. I'm going to undo this because I want to show you the difference. So here, before we do that, I want to put my level 1 at around 400, and then my level 2 to be 3400 because I want it to just be 3000. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to architecture and then click this button, or you can type in LL. Here the difference is that if I create this, it will automatically add my floor plan onto my project browser. As you can see, it added level 3, and then also it will add level 3 right here. So that's the difference between adding the levels right here or adding it on the copy command. Here I'm going to add another level. This will be 400 from below, and this will be called ground. So here it's overlapping, so you can add in another elbow. You just need to find it. It's going to be very small. Select that, and then here you could change the name. I'm going to put it ground floor. Press yes, and then it will create that ground floor right there. We will just need to move this around so that everything is showing properly. Nothing is overlapping, and we have the level 1, level 2, and level 3. And then this is all going or intersecting the level 3. We just need to double check all of our elevation. So here it's not showing right here. So what we need to do is move it up like that. And then we can give it some space right here so that everything is not overlapping here. And we could add in an elbow for this elevation. This will also help us because even though if we're doing right now, once we're doing the sheet, it will be faster for us because we already set up everything nicely. And then here as well, we just need to add in all of this information and showing off. We have the south elevation done already, and then here we just need to clean up all of this. Grab it and then you can push it down, and it's up to you if you want to create an elbow right here. You can do so, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. That's too much. Plus I already explained that it's much better if you do it now. I'm just going to do it later on once we have time. So now let's go back to level 1, and then here we could all start adding all the components that we want to. So we can start off by adding our walls. So now that we have so many of elevation that are open that we don't need yet, you can clean it up by clicking close inactive view, and you want to make sure that you're saving it all the time. So now I'm gonna save it later on once we finish this, but here what I want to show you is we need to create our exterior wall first. So the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna click on wall first, and once we click on wall, it will start on basic wall generic 200 millimeters, but that's fine. But in newer Revit, what I noticed is that we don't have the basic wall generic anymore. This is basically a cleanup version. Here we have different samples: bricks on CMU, bricks on block on metal stud. So we have different variation. You can choose one of this, for example, and then we're going to clean it up, see, similar to the basic wall or the generic wall. So once you select one of them, you can click on edit type, and then you want to make sure you want it to be duplicated. And then I'm going to put all capital exterior wall number 1, and then press OK. And you need to go right here under edit. We have our exterior side, which is all the way right here up to the core boundary, and we also have our interior side, which is up to this core boundary on this side. We're going to delete this side, the exterior, and then the interior side. The only thing that we cannot delete is the core boundary, structure, and core boundaries. Those are the default ones that we cannot delete. So here, what we can do is click on delete, and then here, once we're here, actually you can see that it won't be deleted because it will grayed out itself. And then here, delete that. What we can do here is we can choose one of our white, so maybe a gypsum wallboard. So I'm going to use that, and then press OK, and we're going to set our thickness to 200 millimeters. Press OK, and then press OK. Now, before we add the wall, what we need to do is we need to make it connected. So of course we're going to put it from level 1 to level 2, but as you can see, the top constraint is unconnected. So here I'm gonna change this to level 2, and you can also change it right here. So either way, if you change it right here or right here, it will be synced with each other, and it recognizes that the height of that wall from level 1 to level 2 is 3000 millimeters or 3 meters. Wall center line, I'm gonna use wall center line, and then I'm going to use chain. So it's already checked, so what we need to do is we just need to add. So I'm gonna start off at, so let's select, we're going to select at 5C, going down up to 5J, going across up to 3J, going up until H5 or H3, and then here we're going to go up to H1, going up to C1, but going over around 525. So we're going to go over 525, so there's going to be indented there. And here we're going to put around 3000 millimeters, going down again, and then closing it off at C5 again. So that's our layout. And then we're going to add this small area right here. It will be going E1 up to E2, going down up to G2, and then G1. So that's going to be a small area for that. I'm planning to just add in a small, or like some trees right here that will be all see-through around this area so that it looks nice. So we're gonna stop here for now and continue in the next video. Thank you for watching and hope you liked the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below.